2025 is the year that I slow down. Here's the problem that always comes up for me at the end of the year. I have all of these tools that I'm excited to use to improve my life, but there are so many of them that I end up trying to squash them together, and in that scramble, I lose sight of what I'm truly there to do, which is to make a productive, happy, and healthy life for myself. And the truth is, I just need to slow down and more carefully consider the planners and products I am bringing into my lineup for the new year so that I can actually use the things that are necessary and strip away everything else that's not going to help me achieve my goals. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through all of the tools I will be using, brainstorm a little bit with you about how that system will flow together as one, and hopefully give you some inspo for your planners for 2025. So I've talked a lot on this channel about the 4-part productivity system: capture, method, calendar, task manager, notes. And I made a whole video on this recently, which I will leave linked up in the cards, or you can just pause this and screenshot it or read it for yourself now. But basically what I'm going to be doing here in this video is outlining what products I'm using for my capture method, my calendar, my task manager, and my notes. And in recent months, I feel that this method has gotten way out of whack for me. So I really want to get control of my 4-method productivity system so that 2025 can be as best as it can possibly be. So I want to start with capture method. In the video that I just did about this, I mentioned your capture method should be something that you carry around with you, that is easily accessible, that you can jot stuff down in as you're going throughout your day. And I mentioned that I sometimes use a pocket notebook for this. I carry this bad boy with me everywhere I go. It's a moleskin. It is like $12. It's nothing super special. It just has what I need, which is basically this small size, can fit into any purse, and then blank gridded pages, which is my preferred layout for a notebook to have. And I use this a lot when I'm on the go, but I also end up using other things as capture methods, like spare margins in my planner or the book that I'm writing, sticky notes, and maybe worst of all, my digital notes app, which is not in and of itself a problem. Of course, if you're using a digital notes app as a catch-all method, that's fine, no judgment. But I find that it is really hard for me to clean out that digital notes app, whereas I think it would be much easier if I just had one pocket notebook where I was writing things down during the day. So this is by no means a comprehensive planner or some place where I'm going to be doing like really deep thinking. It is just the place that if I have nowhere else to go, if I don't have anywhere else to write it, I'm pulling this out of my pocket instead of my phone and jotting down whatever I need to jot down in here. And I'm trying to limit my capture methods to just this notebook, not because I think that's morally right or whatever, but just because I really think I need to examine my capturing habits and think a little bit more critically about them. And I think having a tiny notebook that I go to first is going to, at the end of the day, make me feel more organized than having like this nebulous cloud of notes that I don't really know what to do with. Plus, I really believe in handwriting, and I think handwriting things is going to help me better remember them when I first hear them. So hopefully this will have that added benefit. To give you an example of a couple things I will use this for, first is brief schedules while I'm on the go and don't have access to my planner. I also shared this in my video about the 4-part productivity system, so this is the type of thing I'd be putting in here, but also like notes I think of on the go. For example, this was just some notes that I had for something that I was writing, and then I can transport these to where they are most useful, whether that is a digital note-taking app or a planner app as it would be for this. So this is just serves as like a catch-all capture method, and I'm really going to be trying to limit myself because right now I'm finding that I'm just capturing things everywhere, and I really want to see how few capture methods I can get by with, because the rule with capture methods is you should use as many as you need, but as few as you can get by with. And right now I'm really pushing the outer limits of as many as I need, and I want to see how few I can get by with. So I'm just going to be relying on this, and then I will probably make some adjustments about how few I can actually get by with once I have a better sense of how this fits into that method. So the second thing I need is a task manager, and my task management has been frankly a mess in this second half of 2024. So I firmly believe that you should have as few task managers as possible, ideally just one. However, my team at work uses Asana, which is a digital task manager. So I'm left to manage projects of my own by myself, and often I find I need a written companion to Asana just because my brain thinks better on paper, either to have as a first or second draft of plans depending on where I first put them down. So for that,
that, I'm going to be using this manager's notebook from Paper Test Designs. I have a video walking through the manager's notebook front to back up on my channel. I will leave a link to that in the cards up above. Essentially, I have tried a lot of different task managers, Things 3, Akiflow, reminders. I said Asana earlier, but nothing helps me feel more relaxed than a good old-fashioned brain dump and a handwritten project plan. And I really think this will be able to handle what I need it for. I'll show you really quickly how I'm going to be using it. So after each weekly spread, there's this like blank 2-page spread, and then it goes into the next weekly spread. That's where I'm going to be doing things like a monthly brain dump and then an Eisenhower matrix. So I'm just going to get everything out of my head. This might be monthly, it might be weekly. I haven't really decided yet. And then I'm going to be doing an Eisenhower matrix to sort of sort and catalog those things. If you're not familiar with an Eisenhower matrix, I'll plop an example of one up on the screen. And then how that will interface with Asana is I will do this brain dump, I will do the Eisenhower matrix, and then from the Eisenhower matrix, I will know how to catalog and sort things in Asana. So it's going to be having this open, having Asana open, and that's going to be my project and task planning, at least for work. And I will probably use one of these other blank page spreads behind a weekly to do like a personal monthly project plan, and then just rely on this resource. So more to come on what my actual task management system, like fully fledged out, looks like. But for now, I'm feeling pretty good about just having it on paper in one of these pages tucked away in my manager's notebook. And then also, of course, having what I need to have for work in Asana so that my team has visibility onto what I'm working on, what the status of projects are, those kinds of things. I'm trying really hard not to duplicate information. It just makes it kind of difficult when you have to use one system for work, but maybe you prefer to use another system for your personal projects. But things like a notebook cannot really be shared with my team, so I need that digital source to share that content. So this is going to be my personal task manager and my work project tracker, a number of different things, but I'm going to try to limit projects and tasks to just this one notebook. The next thing I have in my system is my notes. Now this is my common planner. It is a Sterling Ink common planner. This is the one for 2024. For 2025, I also have a common planner in the same exact cover. This is a cover by Stone Ridge on Etsy, and I really like it so far. My 2025 one is actually an undated common planner, so it is full year, full size, and it doesn't have any of the dates or months or anything like that up at the top here. It's just I can handwrite it in, or I can use some of the monthly stickers that Sterling Ink sells in her shop when you buy her undated planner. And the reason I'm using an undated planner is basically because I feel like this common planner, how I have been mostly using it in the second half of 2025, the second half of 2024, how I've mostly been using it in the second half of 2024 is as a notes or note-taking system. So my notes vary a lot from quotes to productivity hacks to to-do lists. I've shown off a lot of these pages before. Oh, look, here is like a literal brain dump of me talking about what my capture methods are going to be in my calendar and stuff like that. That's fun. Yeah, so I've talked a lot about this on my channel before, and you've seen me use it for dailies and things like that. But mostly in this second half of 2024, I've been using it for things like this. So video brainstorms, spoiler alert, here are 2 videos coming up, but also for mapping out notes for projects I'm working on that are personal. So things like my fanfiction that I'm writing or other stuff that I'm writing. Mostly it's notes about writing and social media and planners and other things that sort of occupy my brain space. So I think in 2025, the best use of this will be as a notes system for those various interests. And it's called the Common Planner for a reason, right? Because it has all of this extra space where you can insert your commonplace notes. So I'm going to really try to invest in the common placing system as a note-taking system. I think it will end up being a little bit more like a commonplace book and a workbook at the same time. Since I have my manager's notebook where I could do any like weekly planning that I needed to in this weekly section, I don't really see myself needing these weeklies at the beginning too much. I mean, I'm going to experiment, see if I like memory keeping in these or anything, but they honestly may be just like test spreads for things I want to track on a weekly basis, or they may be useful as places to keep notes on planner ideas that I have for the channel and for other use cases. Same thing with the monthly sections. Again, just blank. Having this empty really means it can be a blank canvas for all of my ideas. And then in the back, I'm going to, like I said, really invest in common placing as an idea. I have a few sections, like common sections or common ideas, however you want to call them, that I will organize this by. So my intention is basically to do like a line down this side of my page, write my notes here, and then in this margin, I will have notes that say like, this is related to my fanfiction, this is related to my YouTube channel, this is related to planners, this is related to social media, something like that. And then that way, this is a usable note-taking system that I can then, brainstorm video ideas or write bits of things that I'm writing and export this to somewhere else once I'm finished morphing the idea out. If that makes sense. It might still feel a little bit amorphous, but essentially what I really felt that I needed to do, since I have these two planners with me this year, is I needed to pick one that was going to be my primary home for task management and one that was my primary home for notes. And this seemed like a natural fit for task management, and this seemed like a natural fit for notes. So I'm going to try to use this as a true commonplace notebook, and this is going to be like my only notebook until I fill it up, essentially. And I have backup notebooks. If I do end up filling this up before the year is over, that's great. I'll just replace it with a backup notebook, and we'll see how it goes. So stuff will enter through my capture method, my little notebook here that I have with me on the go, and they will get sorted. If they're a note, they'll get sorted and expounded upon in my commonplace notebook, or it will go into my manager's notebook if it's a task related thing, or if it is an event or something I need to put on my calendar, it will go into my calendar. And for my calendar system, I'm going to be using a very familiar product, which is Akiflow. I will go over to the screen now to show you what that looks like.
Okay, let's talk calendars. For 2025, my calendar is going to be one of the only things that actually stays digital, fully digital, not moving to paper in any capacity. And this is because I really just can't get away from a digital calendar given all the different areas of my life. My appointments are too flexible, my meetings change too fast, and having it in a paper planner would just mean everything is crossed out basically all the time. So I need a digital space where things can move around really quickly and all my calendars can talk to one another. Also, my brain is already trained to use a digital calendar. It already thinks to look for my appointments on my phone or on my computer, not in a paper planner, so I'm not gonna mess with the good thing. I'm just gonna stick with my digital calendar. Given all of that, the most important thing that I need in a good calendar app is the ability to sync absolutely all of my calendars together into one platform, and I use tons and tons of calendars. So for that, I am using Akiflow, which is also the kind sponsor of this video, and Akiflow is great for that. They can sync any tools that you're using, whether it's a productivity app or a calendar app, and put it all together in one easy to use platform. You can see from my screen here, I have 16 calendars. So Akiflow is able to sync all of my various calendars into one space, and I can really easily just toggle them on and off when I'm demonstrating for YouTube videos or showing off my screen. Now, Akiflow is the sponsor of this video, so I do want to show you a couple of their other features as well, but the basics in terms of calendars is that I can come in here and I can make an appointment, say I want to make a lunch date for this day. It's in my personal appointments calendar. Boom, that's amazing. It'll appear here on Akiflow, and it will also appear on my Google Calendar if I should pull up my calendar in that platform. Another cool thing is if I want to build in tasks to my day, it's very easy to do that right from the calendar view because Akiflow couples your task management system with your calendar system. So for example, I can just click on a time slot here and I can make this a task instead of an event, and I can type review emails, and then boom, I have a task on my calendar instead of an appointment. But I can also do things like lock this to my calendar so that when I go to my Google Calendar, this will appear right there in Google. You can see this blue line indicates that it's part of my blue calendar, which is my Google Calendar. So I can easily see my tasks across apps if I end up using a different app than Akiflow. You can even group related tasks into time slots. So again, on the calendar, you would just create a slot instead of a task, title it answering emails, and then add tasks right from here. Email Stacy, reach out to Tom, etc., etc. So it makes it a really powerful calendar tool to use. But for the most part, I like it because it syncs absolutely everything that I need to have synced. And they also have one-on-one user onboarding, which is great if you find any of this overwhelming. They will help you set it up, hold your hand through the whole process so that you can hit the ground running. If you want to know more about Akiflow, check out the link in my description box below if you want to try it for yourself. I'm going to be posting setups of my two planners and give you an inside look as to what my capture notebook looks like in the new year. So leave your questions about those down in the comments below and I will try to answer as many of them as I can. If you liked this video, you will probably like the video where I go into detail about what the 4 parts of a productivity system are. I will leave that right here on the screen next to my head for your viewing pleasure. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, for being subscribed, for being awesome. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.